Welcome back, ballroom dance friends. Today we're going to answer a great question that Manana asked in our comments. And that question is, hello, do you know if there's a difference between competitions in Europe versus the USA? And in a nutshell, yes, and there's a lot. So we're going to dive into those today and I'll share a little info. So in previous videos, I've shared the different competition levels in the United States. And they're a little different for Pro-Am as well as amateur, but in a nutshell, newcomer, bronze, silver, gold, novice, pre-championship, championship. Europe has different proficiency levels. And I believe Russia has this same system. And it's they call it class. Class E, Class D, Class C, Class B, Class A, Class S. So what does that mean? I'm going to generalize here. Pre-bronze, Class E. Bronze, Class D. Silver, Class C. Gold, Class B. Novice and pre-champ together, that's Class A. And then championship is Class S. And I believe Canada has the same categories as the United States, but for amateur, they also, like Europe, lump the novice and pre-champ together into one category. Okay, now England is different yet. So they have beginners, novice, intermediate, pre-championship, and open. Open, as I've discussed in a previous video, is just another word, another way we describe championship level. Okay, next up. In the United States and Canada, it's basically the same for Pro-Am in terms of the age divisions, the skill levels, how that works, okay, guys? This category originated in the United States, but over the past, I would say, 15 years, it's been growing in popularity in Canada, okay? In contrast, I have only seen one Pro-Am comp in Europe that that wasn't kind of like I'm not throwing shade, but like an event organized by Americans to bring Americans over there and have them bring money and make money for the comp, but actually like a real comp. And that was at Blackpool. And in fact, my first pro partner and I were there competing pro, and one of our students, he competed on the floor with her in the very first ever Blackpool Pro-Am event. Now, at that time, it was the first year they ever tried it. It was almost like an exhibition, although it was not an invitational. They just had, I believe, like 6 couples all together that even entered. I believe they have 7, and one of the ladies dropped out. Although I saw her there, she might have just been a little overwhelmed by watching Blackpool and the level of competitors there. I'm just guessing. Anyway, at that first year, they combined all of the ages and all of the skill levels. Although in practice, it was all, open gold level Pro-Am. So it's not something that you would just show up to as a silver dancer and participate in. These were actually all trained dancers, okay? Now these days, they continue to run Pro-Am there, but it's more like the US divisions these days. And they also have a student teacher. I still believe there's no syllabus level though. It's just like open and there's different age levels, but not skill levels. So if you go, again, I would definitely be a trained, very successful, experienced competitor in the United States, unless you truly just want to go to participate, though I don't see a lot of that at Blackpool in any category, I think, ever. And it's been growing over the years. So now there's about 10 couples per event, and there are different age categories. So I think that's interesting. That being said, the last time I saw it, I wouldn't say it is the most elite prime dancers in the United States. I would say it's those that are open level and wealthy, because it's not cheap to travel to England. Certainly not cheap to pay for your pros, room and board and pay, and the comp and travel, all that stuff. It's a small fortune. So that's just what I've seen. Okay, now another difference, Europe as a whole has a lot more formation teams and better formation teams than we have in the United States, particularly mainland Europe. And I just think it's interesting in the United States, when I was kind of going up through the ranks, some former BYU formation team members were bragging how, we are the winners of Blackpool, and putting that feather in their hat, which technically they are, but the formation team category in Blackpool is actually not even open. It's closed. They invite 5 teams each year. The teams aren't that good. I have no idea how they select who they invite. Not that they're bad teams, but they're not that elite level. And you see a ton of those in mainland Europe that are actually amazingly good. So it's not really a highly competitive event. It reminds me of when I had a pro at my studio who just marketed himself hardcore, bragging about he's a world finalist in theater arts. And he placed 3rd out of 3 couples that showed up to the championships that year. Like, well, I guess you can use any statistic, in your favor, but it's not really truly what's representative of the skill level, okay? Also, they had, I don't know if they run it anymore, but they used to have a similar invitational theater arts event. Theater arts is dance, sport, could be ballroom, Latin, very artsy, a lot of lifts and drops, okay? That would absolutely be prohibited in regular competition. And if memory serves me correctly, that was only 3 couples that were invited, although they were very good, all 3 of those couples. Again, I have no clue how they actually select those people, but yeah, those are some differences. I can think of a lot more actually that might be interesting to you. And so rather than go over my 10-minute mark, I am going to do a part 2 on this, because there's all sorts of stuff now that you ask that question, that, gosh, never thought of until you asked the question. Thank you so much, guys, for watching today. If you're interested in all things ballroom dance, hey, subscribe to our channel. If you have questions, please comment below. It makes my job so much easier to come up with topics that you actually would like to hear about, okay? So have an awesome day and happy dancing. I'll see you in the morning. Bye, guys.